The platforms of the Gentlemen's Sim Racing Club on a big Thursday night. Nice to have you company wherever you're tuning in, all around Australia or indeed the world. We are at the Miami International Autodrome first up for our triple treat of Formula V action. And then that's, of course, with thanks to the great people at Disruptive Labs. And then, of course, we're heading off to the notorious Green Hell, the Mad Nordschleife in Germany, the full Nürburgring combined course, Grand Prix and Road. And that'll, of course, be the setting, the playground for the latest round of the GSRC Porsche Cup, the first and only 60-minute enduro of the campaign. And it promises to be a night that you should strap in, buckle up and hold on tight for and see out for the duration with us here on the platforms of the GSRC across Facebook and YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. Compulsory must-watch appointment viewing tonight, box office. The Nordschleife are always notorious. And, of course, Formula V has been must-watch from first until last for all 9 of their races so far this season. I'm Zach Caber. Matt Schmidtke's here alongside me. Andrew Neal will take over from Schmitty when we get to the Porsche Cup portion of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. The main course into dessert. We're on the Formula E loop of the Miami International Autodrome tonight. There it is for you, ladies and gentlemen. It's a dicky little layout, but I tell you what, it'll produce some great racing for the Vs. As you can see there, it incorporates some aspects of Monday morning's Formula One Grand Prix layout, but it is mostly, as we say, the short, tight, narrow 2.28 kilometres that Formula E run on when they're here at the start of, or the end of January, the start of February each year. We will have full racing tonight, which I'm pleased to report, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to Trav Azzopardi for just mending a couple of things in the settings to ensure that we're not going to sell you short of 10 minutes of racing in Heat 1 here, which is coming up in just a few moments. On the way there, let's have a look at the championship standings to remind you of who's doing what in the zoo at the moment. And Chapo's the man to beat. He's got 36 points. Not that one. There we go. Oh, dear. It's a good start, Schmitty. Chapo, the clean sweep last week. Magnificent performance. 157 points. Just swept the house clean. 157 to make it 433 and 36 points up on Braden Sagasa. Rocky Purvis 381, so too Adam Lavis. So it's nice and tight in the battle for second and third at the moment. Derek Fitzgerald's only another 8 points further back. Then it starts to space out a little bit. Ryan Tate, Michael Adams, Thorn Wiggett, Chris Noble and Ryan Jones, the top 10. Jonesy not on the grid tonight because he's, of course, over at Casa de Shahin, getting ready for the Shannon Speed Series this weekend. Cars lining up on the grid for race 1. Happy to report that we've still got 20 on the grid here, despite the fact that this is not everybody's favourite cup of tea, despite the fact that there are a couple of notable absentees for reasons I've already disclosed. But yes, night 4, week 4 of term 2, and this is how it looks for the first of 3 of the night. Invert top 10 for the second race, invert top, what do we got? Invert top 15 for the third race. Looks like we're going to have 18 or 19 cars lining up on the grid here. Trav Azzopardi is listed on my run sheet here for some reason, even though we know that he'll be overseeing things from race control. Braden Sagasa, Lockie Purvis front row. So the more things change, the more they stay the same this week. We've changed the car, but still 1-9 lock out the front row. Sam Chapman, Jordan Pianazzola the second row, John Merritt, Adam Lavis third row, Derek Fitzgerald, Ryan Tate from 4, Michael Adams and Callum Maxwell from 5. 6 is Eduardo Zamora and Cooper Frank. 7, Mark Register and Joel and Hanson. 8, Will Ramsden and Brendan Neal on 9, Michael Fisher, Dave Oliver. 10, Hilton Booth and Joel Janssens. So, yeah, we've got a double false reading on the SDK live timing here because Joel Janssens hasn't lined up yet, nor is Will Ramsden, nor is Adam Lavis or Michael Adams. But Trav Azzopardi is listed as 16th. There are 2 drivers listed as 16th. Trav, of course, overseeing things from race control, so that's going to throw me off a little bit tonight, but that's okay. We're ready to rock and roll nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen. This promises to be an absolutely fascinating opening heat of the night. Formula V, can we just bring the track and weather settings up on the right-hand side there, please? Again, Matty Schmidtke. 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 km/h winds easterly direction. That's interesting. And we're away without the lights. That's an interesting one. What on earth is going on here? Have we got another rolling start? Oh, for Christ's sake.
I checked them. I have no idea why it's a rolling start. I double-checked them. I went through them twice. I'm sure they said standing start.
I was looking at that thinking, Christ, that's a really slow getaway. And that's really off-putting because we didn't see the lights come on. I thought, hang on, somebody's jumped the start and everybody, it's monkey see, monkey do. No, we've got another bloody rolling start there, Dinkum. All right, Braden Sagasa and Lockie Purvis will bring us around. 22 degrees the ambient, 34 on track, partly cloudy conditions and 54% humidity just to finish the weather reading.
This is Trevor. This isn't my series. This is Trevor's series. I'm thinking of Formula 3, how we had the rolling start last week. But no, that's...
okay, right. No, that's right. Yeah, thank you.
That's all right.
Thank you. No, I was going to say, Sean Benici should have done it 3 times. No, the interesting thing for mine in all of that is, well, I'm glad I now know who's looking after the Formula 3 series, because we were wondering what the hell the rolling start was for with them last week. So I'm glad you were able to fix that up. But yes, so we've worked on the lap count with Trav with regards to race 1, because around here 1 minute 12 lap times, ladies and gentlemen. So you're looking at 8-9 laps for this opening heat. But obviously now the problem is we're chewing time out of the turnaround that people have, including you, most notably, between this and the Porsches. So that's the next thing we've got to sort of work on. Baby steps, ladies and gentlemen. Just nail the 1%ers week in, week out. Stay with us. We'll get it right eventually. We're at week 4 of the campaign. This is race number 10 of 30. Races 11 and 12 to follow. Braden Sagasa and Lockie Purvis lead us to green. And immediately Purvis was trying to get on the defensive there to cover off Sam Chapman. We're racing in Miami. Away we go, full throttle towards the first corner. Sagasa's got the jump. Chapman's going to get by Purvis on the inside. Merritt is in there as well ahead of Pianozola, and Fitzgerald's got the better of Adam Lavis off the line. Cleanly we go. It is the short course here, so it is a little bit different, is my understanding, to the Formula E layout, but it's close enough, the MIA loop, as they make their way around for the first time through the chicane. The switchback, the crisscross. That's a beautiful getaway from Braden Sagasa. Here's Purvis up on the inside of Chapman. Chapman familiar with this layout from when we had the legend cars here. Will he be able to bring the sort of form that we saw him produce there to the table in the V, down the back straight? So that's where the 2 tracks join up. This is the Formula 1 back straight there, but they don't go as far down the back straight. So the top of the shot there is the hairpin, or the left-hander, I should say, where you come back onto the back straight from the Grand Prix course. And as you can see at the back of shot there, between the tyre barrier, or behind the tyre barriers rather, that is where the Grand Prix circuit continues and extends, with the hairpin at the end of the back straight. So it is a tight run onto the main straight. That remains similar, but it is a lot shorter run down the back straight than what it was for the Formula 3s the other night. Through we go. 1 lap gone. 1 minute 14.827. So if we continue to run south of the 1 minute 15 threshold, there's a chance we'll get 9 laps in here, folks. We are reliably informed that we have fixed the lap issue, which means we should be able to run all the way through. Yes, it says 15 laps. We're not going to get to 15, so that's good. We'll get to about 9, but at least we've brought ourselves some leverage there. I agree. This is probably the best of the Miami Grand Prix circuit layouts, with that comment that's just come through on YouTube. Good evening to everybody tuning in via Facebook and YouTube. Feel free to join in the conversation as we get going here. We won't get too much of an opportunity normally to interact with you during Formula V, but once we get to the Porsches and it's an hour around the Nords, we might need some padding. So we might need some assistance in sort of continuing the flow of conversation. Round onto the main straight, another lap in the books. I'm just going to open the Wikipedia page for this circuit up on my laptop as we go here, folks. That's a great start from Lockie Purvis, from 3rd up into 1st. Of course, he was pipped off the start by Chapo, who now sits there in 3rd behind Sagasa and Purvis. And if anything, Matt Schmidtke, Chapo's obviously in the box seat at the moment. He's got the slender advantage at the top of the points table, but he's going to have to bring his A-game each and every week because of the dominance we're seeing from the 1-9 boys across the 86s, across the Formula 3s, and they're carrying, in most instances, they're converting that form on a Thursday night as well in the Vs.
Yep, they certainly are. They're doing very well in the lead-in series. They've got 3 of them pretty well on lockdown, and they're keeping that together here. I would expect the best opportunity would be to get a good run on the back straight here on the last lap and send it down the inside into the last turn there, but we'll have to wait and see what Chapo does to see if he can get ahead of these boys.
The good news is 19 starters, 19 still running. The only one not taking to the line that was entered into the server in driver mode is Joel Jansen's, of course, as we go across the start-finish line again. Chapo sits third. Very different sort of racing to what we're seeing last week at Summit Point. We're not seeing as much of the line astern dicing and dueling, battle packs, dual lane sort of carriageway stuff. We're seeing nose to tail 1, 2, 3, 4, single file formation. So it is very different. And we are getting the feeling very early in the piece here that you're going to have to work hard for your overtaking opportunities. Particularly, oh, good. I was worried about Adam Lavis for a moment there. I thought he'd dropped off the face of the planet with a packet loss scenario. And the only time that's worse for Adam is when it's on a Monday night and it impacts the broadcast. Sad I couldn't race in this one. Good old work getting in the way, says Thorn Weggett. But yes, I was wondering where you got to. Good evening to you. No Ryan Jones either. So, yes, there's a couple of notable absentees tonight in a series where we've already had, if you don't mind, and Sean Dory's another one, we've already had 31 drivers contest at least one round of this series. Move on at the front. Is Sagasta down on the inside? No, Chapo's on his outside. Chapo's on the outside of Sagasta at 1. John Merritt's tucking in there as well. 4 laps come and gone. We're on lap 5. We're past half race distance on the clock. But as I say, with the fact that we're running 3 seconds sub that 1 minute 15 threshold, 1 minute 15 and 2 is 2:30, 2 is 5 and 2 is 10. So therefore, 2 laps, 2.5 minutes, 2 makes 4, 6, 8. But because we're running sub 1 minute 15 and quite comfortably so, chances are we're going 9. 9 laps here. First up tonight. Sam Chapman under pressure, relentless pressure from John Merritt at the moment. They need to focus on the task at hand, though, and that is reeling in the 1-9 stable. Have we got an interpreter within the club ranks at anywhere, Matt Schwipke? I'm just trying to make sense of that. Yeah. Those 2 comments that are coming in, it looks like they're in some form of different language. Yes, we'll need to get someone from SBS on the phone, I think. Oh, actually, they might consider that discriminatory these days. I'm not meaning it for it to be so. John Merritt in 4th place at the moment. We're right on board with him. Great to see Hot Lap back last week. He brought his A game to the table, got caught up in a couple of incidents, but still managed to salvage a solid result for the night. Of course, he's well down the leaderboard here because it was his first start in the series. 18th, a 15th, a 3rd and a 2nd. It was enough for 3rd on points last week. I believe we're in the pocket. Yes, I think you're right, actually. Forehead on keyboard. Yes, that's fair. Trying to type with his chin or something. I don't know. Ran onto the main straight, another lap in the books. Braden Sagasta continues to ride defence for Lockie Purvis because whilst ever Purvis leads the way, the only way that Chapo and Merritt can get to him is by getting by Braden Sagasta, and that's been easier said than done during some rounds of this season. Through we go. I don't know how to feel about this, but my voice box hasn't been destroyed to the extent that it was by this time last week at Summit Point.
Certainly a different type of racing.
Absolutely it is. So I'm just bringing up that Wikipedia page at the moment as well, because it's interesting when we talk about the MIA loop. This is the 2.32 kilometre circuit that we're on tonight. The extended MIA loop is another 500 metres. But the confirmation that I can bring to you is that the MIA loop, which is this one, was used by Formula E earlier in the season. I thought that was the case, but because there's so many different configurations, it was I needed to go and double check and clarify just for my own assurance more than anything else. Wide is Sagasa. Here goes Chapo, just opening up the door and making room for himself to slide on through. But Sagasa's going to have the inside running as they get to turn one. Here comes John Merritt. White flag not flying just yet. That'll be next time by. We will go 9 laps here in the opening heat. And Chapo is around the outside of Sagasa. Out in pursuit of Lockie Purvis now. Jordan Pianazola further back has got by Adam Lavis for 5th. And Cooper Friends got back by Ryan Tate for 7th. Michael Adams holding off Eduardo Zamora, who is in the invert pole position at the moment, ahead of Callum Maxwell and Dave Oliver. Hilton Boots also wedged into the middle of that battle in 11th. So every single position is up for grabs at the moment. 1 minute 12.177, fastest lap of the race last time through for John Merritt. And here are Chapo and Sagasa side by side. To the back straight we'll go. I don't think Purvis is comfortable with only 0.7 of a second. It'll be interesting to see what sort of effect the slipstream has for these boys down the back straight. It's not as strong as it was at Summit Point. Here's Sagasa to the inside of Chapman. And Chapo lets him go. He bowls it deep and wide to Sagasa. That's why Chapo was happy for him to take the plunge. Down the inside, white flag in the air. Let's go. Purvis leads us back to the strike. He's being caught by Chapman. Sagasa's to the outside and Chapo's in the middle. Merritt, best seat in the house, watching on from just off the podium at the moment. Through they go. Chapo to the lead at 1. Purvis in behind it. Sagasa now has to fend off John Merritt just to try and hold on to a podium finish here. Chapo, this would be for 4 wins on the trot, and he's 6th of the season. Well, 5th of the season, I should say. Which would be half the complement, the quota so far. This is race 10 of 30, and Chapo is out in pursuit of win number 5. Purvis is the only one that can stop him this far back, this late in the piece. He's within 0.3 of a second. Time expires on the clock. We're across the back straight for the final time. Here's Chapo weaving left to right. Now, will Purvis learn from the mistake that Sagasa made last time through? Chapo's making life exceptionally difficult for him. To the inside goes Chapman. Purvis with the up and under, contact and gone! Contact and gone! Sagasa and Chapman are out of it! Can you believe this? Braden Sagasa will go to victory lane for the 3rd time this season in Disruptive Love's Formula V. But there'll be more said about that, and trouble at the back as well as they're trying to cross the line. That was Mark Register. Drama all over the bloody place right at the end. Sagasa from Merritt. Jordan Pianazola holds on for 3rd, benefiting from that contact. Purvis on Chapman, and Adam Lavis in for 4th. Have a look at it again, folks. Nope, we won't. We'll try and get back to that later, Schmitty. But there will be an invoice to pay for that one, you're right, Thorne, I reckon. But unfortunately, it can't be applied in server. So it'll be all applied after the fact. It doesn't change the fact that Sam Chapman will be showing 5th on the screen, and his 3-race winning streak fails to make it any further beyond that. He was lining up his 4th on the trot, not to be. Credit to Lockie Purvis. I mean, he went for it, and most race car drivers would have. My only argument is I don't think the door was anywhere near far wide enough open based on the view we had. And when you look at the contact that was made, it's hard to argue against that. Hilton Booth inherits the invert pole from Eduardo Zamora. So what's happened there? Because I didn't get to see the final finishing results and all that. Someone may have copped a penalty. Booth and Zamora front row. Adams and Friend the 2nd row. Purvis Chapman the 3rd row. Remember, we go off behind the safety car again, folks. Someone's blaming me for it. Joel and Hanson, thank you. Off we go behind the safety car. So Hilton Booth's come through. Maybe it was because of that contact on the final lap for Maybe somebody's got caught up in that. I thought, last I looked, when we looked at the start of the final lap, I'm just trying to remember who Hilton Booth was behind, because he was 11th at the start of the final lap. We just didn't see the pass. Maybe it was whoever was caught up with Derek Fitzgerald and Mark Register.
Yeah,
there was that garbage at the end of the previous
it might
race.
have been Callum here. I remember seeing a yellow car spinning around, so I think it might have been him that got caught up and promoted Hilton.
Will Ramsden, the only retirement in that race. Joel Jensen's the non-starter. We get ready to go again. 19 cars on the grid. Ramsden has rejoined the field. And Hilton Booth will have everybody breathing down his neck as he brings the field to green for this second race. Yes, Thorne, 3 formation laps tonight, 1 at the start of each race. Unfortunately, you can't go in and select standing start for race 2, rolling start for race 1. It's all rolling starts. So it does give us a little bit of a chance to catch our breath, rest the vocal cords, and we are ready to rock and roll. Thursday night footy tonight too, folks. AFL in the West. Fremantle hosting Hawthorn tonight, of course. And the NRL, the Dolphins up against the Bulldogs just up the road from where I am in Ipswich at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. We'll have results from both as the, as the night goes on. Hello, Kurt Nommenson. Thank you. Good evening. Get ready to rock and roll here, folks. This is race 2 of the night. So, yes, Joel Jansen's the non-starter. Joel and Hansen out there. I'm getting my Joels and my Jolans mixed up, I think, if I'm interpreting Kurt's comment correctly. Off we go. Hilton Booth's going to lead him to the first corner. 3 wide further back. Careful, boys. You're not going to win it and make a hero of yourself in the first corner, but you can lose it in the first corner, as we've seen so often in the past. Adam Lavis, a clean jump. Good getaway from Mav. Up 2 spots already. So too Lockie Purvis. So too Michael Adams. Up 1 spot.
Ooh, contact.
Oh, contact on. Cooper Friend. See you later. Contact. I think that was Adam. Whoa. That's the figure skating work of Cooper Friend. My goodness. That's a huge jump start, potentially. I'll be interested to see what iRacing made of that. No harm, no foul, they say. Here's Michael Adams down on the inside of Hilton Booth to go to the lead down the back straight. Purvis is there with him as well. This is a big opportunity for Lockie Purvis to minimise the damage that's going to be done by that potential invoice coming his way at the end of the previous race. Because we can't apply the penalties in server, they have to be applied after the fact. So therefore, his finishing position when it comes through after race control had a look at it, if it is adjusted, it doesn't reflect where he started that previous race. As far as iRacing's concerned, he's now sitting 2nd, having started 5th, which meant he was 6th across the line. Obviously, had any penalty been applied in server that was able to carry over, that would have impacted starting positions for him and all and sundry. But we can't do that, unfortunately. The software and the infrastructure is not that sophisticated yet, ladies and gentlemen. It's one of our teething little 1% issues that we're talking about. But I was interested to hear Daniel Yeaman say last night that he'd much rather attack the bigger stuff that needs the attention to detail within the iRacing universe, and then worry about the small 1%ers at a later point in time, because we were having that discussion about taking the proverbial urine out of the track limits at Road America, at COTA last night, I should say. So it's going to be interesting to see where we end up with that later in the piece. Ryan Tate wheel banging with John Merritt. Into 9th he goes. Merritt up into 8th. They're finding it hard to make their way forward here. Chapo's sitting 6th at the moment. Yet to gain a spot through 2 laps. Adam Lavis down the inside of Eduardo Zamora for 4th. Thank you very much. Have we got a replay of Cooper Friend's spin by any chance, Schmitty? Just to see if there was any contact, or whether it was the fact that he was too wide on the racetrack there. Yeah, there was contact.
Yeah.
But
Locked to us with Adam.
But I think we probably need to go back further than that if we can, and just have a look at where Eduardo parked himself and whether or not he could have actually yielded there, considering that Adam firmly had the inside line. That's my only question with regards to that one. Oh dear. Purvis, Adams, Booth, Lavis, Chapman. Hard to tell. Oh, sorry, it was Cooper Friend, wasn't it? Not Eduardo Zamora, yes. That's my fault. I've given you a bum steer there. And we've almost had iRacing have heart attack on screen there for you, ladies and gentlemen. Back we go, round onto the main straight again. Lockie Purvis leads Michael Adams, Hilton Booth, Adam Laver, Sam Chapman. They're finding it hard to move their way through the field here. Chapo's only up 1 spot, Lavis up 3, Sagassa up 4, Merritt up 2, but Lockie Purvis up 4 spots. Admittedly, he did start close to the front by virtue of that incident with Chapo. Jordan Pianazzola down 2, Eduardo Zamora down 6, Dave Oliver up 5, and Callum Maxwell up 3, but we're not seeing anywhere near as eccentric positional gains and losses to what we were looking at this time last week at Summit Point. Very different racetrack, very different racecraft, very different style. And it's reflected by the way in which everybody's spread out, really. Single line formation yet again. Michael Fisher on pit road, and so too Cooper Friend. At the end of that previous lap, we're on lap 4, slow down coming the way of Mark Register. Cooper Friend picked up a mechanical meatball. Now, was that for the incident with Adam Lavis, or was there something else? Let's have a look.
I think that might be this here.
Here we go, Michael Fisher and Cooper Friend.
Oh, yeah, just
no.
popped out too late and cleaned him up.
Ooh. You don't think for maybe a split second he might have been looking at the hairpin at the end of the circuit, not the upcoming cut-through corner? That could have caught him out. And off they go to the pit lane. Have a look at the work that has to be done. They've got to paint on the AstroTurf to direct everyone into pit lane, because they're using a different configuration and a different entry point. Round they go onto the main straight, onto the back straight this time through. And Hilton Booth sits 4th at the moment through the chicane. Purvis, Adams, Lavis, Booth, then Chapman, Sagassa, then Merritt, Zamora, and Tate, Pianazzola, and Maxwell. I just realised, I mentioned Formula E there earlier a couple of times. They were on track last weekend in Berlin. I have not actually had a chance to go back and check out the action yet. I'm in a hotel room this weekend because I'm out in regional Queensland for some work, and I might just log in the stand and have a quick look at that, because I guarantee you there won't be pay television where I'm staying on Saturday night, and there'll be a lack of sport on the telly to tune into. So that might be what fills the void. That and the World Endurance Championship is on from Spa this weekend as well. Down the main straight we go. Booth down the inside. This is for P5, trying to get by Braden Sagassa. John Merritt's there as well. Booth holding his own against one of the 4 men in the championship at the moment. The race 1 winner. So 3 races for him so far this season. 4 for Chapman. And 1 each for Purvis. Actually, I think Lockie's got 2, my apologies. 2 for Purvis, 1 for Ryan Jones, the way it breaks down so far. Exciting stuff in the early stages here. Sagassa back on the winner's board after missing out last week. He'd be delighted at that to curb the losing streak. And the 5th win of the season for the 1-9 stable. Now, just wondering where we're going to get to lap-wise here. Probably 13. Probably 13 laps. For the same reasons that I mentioned earlier. 3 wide down to the end of the back straight. Chapo trying to work his way back through the field. Our next target is Michael Adams. To the outside he goes. Braden Sagassa's at the head of that train. He's chasing Adam Lavis. And they're 2.5 seconds off Lockie Purvis at the moment. This is Purvis's race to lose. Chapo to the inside of Adams to turn 1. Got him. Adams yields. Concedes. Now has to fend off John Merritt, who's got Hilton Booth breathing down his neck. Ryan Tate's there as well. I'm just trying to work out if I've got that all right. So we've only had 10 races. So yeah, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Chapo, Sagassa, Purvis and Jones. I did have it right. So Lockie Purvis could well... And this is the interesting thing, isn't it, Schmitty? Right? Wherever Sagassa's won 1 race, and it's usually been race 1, that's 3 times in a row now, 3 times in 4 rounds, 3 rounds this season in which he's won the first race. Purvis has won race 3 on 2 occasions. This might be the first time he nabs a race 2 victory. Jones got the job done, of course, in the opening round, Mexico City. Chapo at Alton Park, and again last week at Summit Point. And feature race wins have gone to Purvis and Chapman so far. Merritt to the outside of Michael Adams, thank you very much. And Chapo to the inside of Adam Lavis. Thanks for coming. Next target, Braden Sagassa. They're all trying to catch Lockie Purvis, who is 2.3 seconds to the good. Admittedly, there's only 6 minutes left on the clock. We're on lap 8. We've got 5 to go. Admittedly, he should be right from there, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah, well, there's a big group of cars here. Maybe they can get into a bit of a draft hopping situation and pull themselves up to Purvis, but we'll have to see how well they can do it. Though we've got 4 of the best V drivers that we have around here most of the time, so if anyone can do it, I'm sure they can.
Right on board with Johnny Merritt. And have a look at the racecraft. We've already worked out tonight that this final corner here is such a notorious trip-up point. It's a trip hazard because very rarely can you overtake down there and make it work on the exit. The over-under, 9 times out of 10, is going to be your best friend because we've already seen so many drivers go for that move and then bowl it too wide, sell themselves short of real estate on the exit and the switchback, even though admittedly that puts them on the inside for turn 1. It just doesn't end up working because you wash off too much speed. The momentum from the opponent behind you that you've just overtaken is too good for them, and they can make their way back on by. And then, as we've already seen, yes, the potential for incidents is extremely high there as well. Great cracking little configuration of the Miami International Autodrome, this circuit. In fact, to be honest with you, I wasn't sure how Monday morning's Formula 1 Grand Prix was going to go, but even though it wasn't the greatest result for Oscar, yes, he got a podium, but really he needs to start nabbing some race wins, considering that he's given the competition a 2-round head start by virtue of what happened in China and obviously his warm-up lap misdemeanor in Melbourne at the Australian Grand Prix. Sagassa, Chapman illustrates the point that I was just making. Chapo straight back through to second. 2.4, I think it's too big a gap. Purvis is getting a tow along here as well. A little bit of assistance from Michael Fisher. To turn 1 they go. 2.2 the margin. 4 minutes to go on the clock. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Wide goes Ryan Tate. Wide goes Ryan Tate. Tate's parked up and done, I think. Oh, no. Here I was thinking he was just exiting stage left. He was just getting out of everybody's road to clear himself. But no. Yeah, agreed. Agreed. It is the year of the Mercedes. But yeah, I was a bit worried about the potential because street racing can be so hit and miss with regards to whether it's a spectacle or not. But I actually really enjoyed the race the other morning, even though, as we say, the result didn't go the way we were hoping for. And there were a couple of incidents late in the piece where a couple of the drivers ended up getting whacked across the knuckles, and rightly so. But yeah, it's just unfortunate that, yeah, I went to all that effort to get up early to watch the race, and Oscar just didn't get the result we were hoping for. But at least the quality was there, the entertainment value was there, and that was even without the weather playing a part. We all thought the rain was going to hit mid-race and really throw a spanner in the works for the tail end of proceedings. It didn't, and it didn't need to. Oh, trouble! Chapo's gone! There was a bit of a bump from Merritt onto Sagassa, and Sagassa onto Chapo, and Chapo drops all the way down to position number 8. Could be tech issues, Thorne, you could be right, with regards to what happened there for Ryan Tate. He rejoins in 10th. Let's have a look at this again. Watch the bump. John Merritt just... Yep, into the side of Sagassa, and that unsettles Sagassa into the side of Chapo. That's really a racing incident, and nothing Chapo can do about that. But if anything, it only puts him in a better position for the invert race, the invert top 15 scenario in a few moments' time. But yeah, here we were, you know, they moved the race 3 hours. Here's Johnny Merritt under pressure from Braden Sagassa. Sagassa goes through. Can he cover it off and keep Merritt at bay? Yes, he can. We haven't seen too much of that tonight. That's nicely done. Adam Lavis is breathing firmly down their neck. 2.7, that's good enough for Lockie Purvis for mine. Merritt back down the inside of Sagasa, 2 to go. Just going back to finish on the Formula 1 point. They moved the race 3 hours. We thought, okay, we're not going to get the worst of the thunderstorms, but as it turned out, from all the reports we got from the circuit, the worst of the thunderstorm activity was actually first thing in the morning. It didn't batten down the way that they were expecting it to. And they probably could have got away with running the race at 4 o'clock. We might have had a trickle of rain. We all know that wet weather Formula 1 racing is a spectacle in its own right because it's such a novelty. We don't see too much of it because they're so quick to throw out the red flag for, caution and safety concerns. We can't have that much water on the racetrack, etc. and so forth. I don't understand what the use of the wet tyres is if that's the case. But in this instance, we went dry all the way through and it was really good stuff. It was really good stuff. Here's Betty Patterson. This is just like my view out the back, watching someone mofo. Yeah, exactly. White flag in the air. One more time around here. It's been a very tame race by Formula V standards. Lavis to the outside, Sagasa down the inside of Merritt. Sagasa back to second. So a bit of history potentially looming here for the 1-9 stable. It could be their first 1-2 on track this season in the Formula V Championship. They've had a good crack at claiming different spots on the podium, but not a 1-2 yet. Sagasa and Purvis were first and third, respectively, in race 1 in Mexico. Then it was 11th and first and sixth at Alton Park, third and first in the feature. So they've had 1s and 3s. They've had both on the podium in the same race before, but not a 1-2. That could change if Sagasa can find his way by John Merritt. To the outside he goes. Get your hands out and smash them together for Lockie Purvis. That's a marvellous fight back from him. Here comes Sagasa, diving it down the inside. Watch the switch back from Merritt. This isn't over until they get to the line. There was a little bit of nudge, a little bit of niggle. Sagasa did enough to ensure that he will keep Merritt at bay. Purvis wins from Sagasa. Merritt, Lavis, Adams, and then Hilton Booth pips a ailing Jordan Pianazzola, a limping Jordan Pianazzola on the run to the line for 6th. Chapo in for 8th. Zamora and Tate the top 10. Maxwell, Fitzgerald, Register. And then Dewey Denton's nowhere to be seen. Ramsden, Oliver. Oliver's got by Joel and Hansen off the last corner and we'll get him across the line. They're switching back, they're chopping and changing. Let's have a look to the line. Oliver and Hansen. Whoa, nothing in that. Oliver got him by 0.04 of a second. Then as a party, Nealon and Fisher and Friend were the last of the finishers. Fisher, of course, finishing a lap down. Friend retiring at the end of lap 4. And yet again, we're pipped by the bloody time nature of this session, Schmitty. We want to go and show replays, we can't.
Nope, not enough time.
But yeah, so to I guess go back and finish the point, although I've just lost, there it is. I just lost your feed momentarily. I hope everyone at home didn't lose me. We've got a 2-minute warm-up here, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, just to go back and finish the point, it's the first time I'd actually really given the Miami Grand Prix circuit, or the race itself, rather, the time of day. Like I went to the effort to get up and watch it live and all that sort of stuff. The rain was what reeled me in initially. But yes, even though there's been so many critics of the new regulations and, they've had to go back to the drawing board in some regards with some of the finalities of that. I thought it was a cracking spectacle, and it bodes well for the rest of the season as well. Maybe we'll see some overtaking in Monaco. Maybe not either. Disruptive Labs, Waste Options, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics are who we are here because of, ladies and gentlemen. They're the great people that continue to support this magnificent club the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. It's great to have them on board as per usual in season 25, term 2 of 2026. Our 7th year, can you believe it? Primary school runs for 7 years in most jurisdictions. Kindy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means we essentially graduate to high school next year. It's lovely. What a time to be alive. Right, that is Hilton Booth out there on the circuit, just getting a little bit better acquainted with the Miami International Autodrome before we get this race underway. The third and final one of the night. Don't forget Porsche's coming up from the Nordschleife very shortly, folks. Race start over there, getting underway. Actually, Schmitty's going to have to pretty much bolt from here as soon as this race is done. There's not going to be any turnaround time for you, Schmitty. We're probably just going to have to wrap it and not have a post-race interview show because by the time you add 15 minutes here, plus the carryover for the fact that we will do a little bit of overtime at the back end of the race, plus the formation lap as well.
It is showing 40 minutes to go to register, so we might be able to get a little bit of a post show in.
I'll come back to why I'm saying that in a moment. Chapo's not happy. See the comment? Chapo's not happy.
Yep, he is not.
Chapo's fired up. And a fired up Chapo is a good night on the platforms of the GSRC. But yes, but with what I'm getting at for the benefit of everybody at home, with the rolling start, chewing a bit more time out of the clock, it'll be around about 9 minutes past 9 minutes past 8 by the time this race gets underway. Safety car's about to peel off from the grid any tick of the clock here. All 18 drivers in position, or 17 drivers in position, ready to rock and roll. And away we'll go. James Denton and Travis has a party showing on my timing screen, but we know that they're not registering at all, so it doesn't matter. It's we're down to, on that note, 18 out of the 20 that started tonight. No Denton, no Friend, no Hansons. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Yeah. I hope I'm right. It is so confusing here when you've got two positions on your timing screen saying 16 and 2 saying 14, but no, 18 out there, 18 registered, 18 about to go. We'll have a look at the grid for you. Will Ramsden is alongside Dave Oliver on the front row. Oliver got the invert there. 10 o'clock local server time, 11 km/h winds, 22 degrees the ambient, 34 on track, partly cloudy conditions, 54% humidity, easterly direction those winds. Mark registered, Derek Fitzgerald, second row, Callum Maxwell, Ryan Tate, third row, Ed Riders and Morris M. Chapman, fourth row, Jordan Pianazola and Hilton Booth. From row 5. From row 6, you're going to see Michael Adams alongside Adam Lavis. From 7, John Merritt and Braden Sagassa. From 8, Lockie Purvis and Joel Hanson. From 9, Brendan Nealon and Michael Fisher. The reason why I'm looking at the clock here, Schmitty, with a little bit of trepidation is when we finish this feature, it's going to be very close to, if not 25 minutes past 8. That's going to leave you 20 minutes. It's an 8+ minute lap around the Nordschleife if you plan on going and setting a banker and qualifying. But if you're going to burn from the stern, then yeah, by all means, we can have a little bit of a chat to the 1-9 boys post-race.
Those two things might be the same, because even though I did a few laps on the weekend, I don't know how quick I'll be compared to everyone else there, but I'll give it a red hot go if I've got time.
That's a really jumbled up, messy sort of start, but they get underway regardless. Green flag flies in Miami, race 12 of the season underway. Look at this on the inside. Fitzgerald and Register. Register goes into second. Fitzgerald follows him through. He's being followed by Will Ramsden. Do we get through cleanly? Yes, we do. For the moment. Disruptive Labs, Formula V on the platforms of the Gentlemen Sim Racing Club. Let's continue on. Oliver leads early. I told him to come and give this a crack tonight. He might just do enough to nab a race win. That'd be great for him. Be great for the series as well to have a different race winner. It's a very, very small list at the moment of 4. 3 wins for Purvis, 3 wins for Sagasa, 4 for Chapman and 1 for Ryan Jones. He's not even here tonight. 4 wide. Let's go. First time tonight. We're 4 wide of the Miami International Autodrome. Oh, no. Hold your breath and God. There goes Mark Register. That was always going to happen. Well, Ramsden, I think it was, that clouded him. Lockie Purvis is on his way, weaving back through the field. He's back up in the 9th spot. Jordan Pianazzola is 8th and John Merritt is 7th. Across the line we go. Frantic opening lap.
Well, they've remembered these are V races now and they're really getting into it in this one.
About time. About time. Thursday night footy underway in the West as well. Fremantle and Hawthorn just getting underway. And the Bulldogs leading the Dolphins 8-0 in Thursday night NRL with a converted try and a successful penalty conversion attempt already in the first 10 minutes of play. Right now, oh, trouble looming there. They're very flirtatious with the track limits over there as well. That is Ryan Tate, I reckon. Yep. Giving Derek Fitzgerald a hard time. Ramsden's in behind him. So too Michael Adams and John Merritt. But look at this. Dave Oliver's gone. 2.7 to the good on Chapo. Catch me if you can. Here comes Ryan Tate to the inside. To third. And he's looking at everybody else saying, we're not going to catch Chapo if we keep squabbling. Chapo's eyeing off Dave Oliver. Oliver leads at the Miami International Autodrome on the MIA loop. I like MIA because it stands for Miami International Autodrome and Missing in Action. And there are a few MIAs tonight, as we've already detailed. Oh, Fitzgerald down the inside. Fending off both Michael Adams and John Merritt. Merritt trying to get by Ramsden. Does so. Merritt jumps up into 6th spot. Purvis is now 8th. Sagasa is 9th. They're +7 and +5 respectively, but the horse is already bolted. They're 8 seconds behind. Sam Chapman already. Purvis gets by Ramsden. Goes into position number 7. Back straight. John Merritt is 6th. Look at the squabbling for positions going on now. Finally. The sort of intensity in Formula V that we're so accustomed to. The Nürburgring Grand Prix tracker circuit next week as Sagasa goes side by side with his teammate Lockie Purvis. Benny Pedersen, I take it we're talking real world business now. Benny, good on you, mate. Thank you. Big thanks to John Merritt on behalf of Ben Pedersen with regards to helping him out with some real world car parts. I love it when the club gives back to its fellow members. That's fantastic. Joel and Hansen on pit road as well. So not an ideal end to the night for Joel and Hansen.
Well, just to add on to your thanking other club members for helping out.
Yes.
On Friday, the shifter on my wheel snapped, and John Akers, a legend, he has sent me a new one free of charge. So thanks, a big shout out to him.
How good's that? Excellent stuff. Sagasa, 8th at the moment. Chases Purvis. Michael Adams is just ahead of them. And Jordan Pianazzola's trying to stick with them. 5 minutes gone, just like that. Done. 5 minutes and 4 laps gone already. We'll get to 13 again in this race, folks. There won't be much in the way of overtime, especially if you want to set yourself a grid position for the Porsches. You'll be bailing straight out of this one. I'm looking at Sam Chapman and Dave Oliver. Bailing straight out of this, going to the Nords. The notorious 25-kilometre mecca of racetrack out there. And these guys will be on one of the shorter configurations of the Grand Prix circuit at the Nürburgring next Thursday night. Then we go to Tsukuba. Now, whether you like Tsukuba or not, it'll be terrific for these cars. It'll be absolutely phenomenal. I'll be actually bringing you that one live from Cessnock in a couple of weeks' time, folks. but looking forward to that immensely. Here is John Merritt. Down the inside of Derek Fitzgerald, and Fitzgerald is wide into the corner. Merritt across to cover it off. Well done to fourth. Impressive. Really impressive stuff. Very tame by Formula V standards for the most part tonight. The lead is 1.3 seconds. So Dave Oliver, his advantage has been sliced in half by Sam Chapman, but still he holds sway. Can he continue to do that for the remaining 8 laps? I'm not sure. We ride on board with Chapo now. He's chasing Oliver. There it is. You can see it for yourself, ladies and gentlemen. It's not much. Chapo out with vengeance, trying to get his first win of the night. We've already had Sagasa win. We've already had Purvis win. And if we get Chapo get a win, well, that's 3 different winners so far from 3 races. We love those nights here on the platforms of the GSRC and Formula V. But it'll be the same winning combination, just being in a different order as what we had for round 2 at Alton Park, because Chapo won race 2 there, Purvis won race 3, Sagasa won race 1. I wonder if... oh, dear. That's an interesting question to be asking this early in the evening, Benny. I might leave it alone for the moment. Can you resend it about 10:30 when we're safe enough to have that conversation on air? Any juniors that are watching, I know what that means. You don't need to at this particular point in time. In fact, I was the victim of one last year. But that's not the point. Let me start digging up. 7 minutes left in this race, and there'll be 6 laps to go at the line. And it's Derek Fitzgerald that we've got our eyes on at the moment. He's chasing Ryan Tate. They're trying to go with John Merritt. He's fending off Michael Adams. So these two... See, this is the interesting thing, Schmitty. Like, whilst everything is a bit more spaced out than what we've come to expect with the Vs, credit where it's due, Michael Adams is sitting 7th in the point standings at the moment. Just consistently... this is the highest he's run all season, right? But he's been consistently in that middle pack of 6 between 7th and 12th, every single finish throughout the first 3 weeks. 10, 7, 12, 12, 9, 11, 19 and 17, the exceptions last week at Summit Point, but last week was like a lottery draw, like when you take the NASCARs to Talladega. And then tonight, he's had a really good run. Chapo has gone to the lead on Dave Oliver. Chapo to the lead. There you go. Now he's eyeing off race win number 5 of the campaign. This is how we get it down the back straight. And conversely, Derek Fitzgerald, 5th, 10th, 6th, 5th, 8th, 4th, 6th, 6th, 3rd. But again, we talk about the importance of consistency. Hard to say that it's going to achieve anything for you when you've got someone like Chapo consistently running first, second, third, first, you know. But 10 points to those guys for the consistency they're bringing to the table, because they could well yield a top 10 championship result firmly because of that. That was nicely done by Chapo, I thought. Maybe the red mist will start to simmer a little bit now.
Yeah, well, he's redeemed his potential win from the previous race, and he's likely to pick one up this round, though I'm sure he would have preferred 2 race wins, but one will have to do.
Absolutely, 100%. Down the inside to turn 1, Sagasa getting by Fitzgerald, having already got by Adams. Braden's up to 5th. Purvis on the comeback trail sits 8th at the moment. So at the moment, things are looking good for Braden Sagasa as far as the round is concerned. A race win, a second, and of course this result here. Is looking not too bad for him either. It's 5th. And when we look at all the round wins, the first couple of weeks, first, 3rd and 11th was good enough for Braden in week 1. 1st, 4th and 3rd the week before. So 1st, 3rd and 5th, based on that, you'd argue is good enough again. Chapo's result in the second race, not terribly crash hot. Involved in that incident in the first race as well. He's only +7 in this race so far. So what's that? 8th, which means he finished 8th in the previous race, because 8th is that midpoint of the 15 invert. So a 5th and 8th, and now a 1st. Yeah, so gas is still looking good for round honours based on the preliminary number crunching that I'm doing, Schmitty, and I'm doing it very roughly and very out loud. Oh, Adams and Fitzgerald, they stay intact. I thought for a moment there we might have had a bit of wheel-to-wheel argy-bargy, but not to be. Andrew Neil with us shortly. We'll be switching round to bring you the coverage of the Porsche Cup from the Nürburgring. I'm looking forward to that immensely. 2 compulsory pit stops in that race as well. So, yes, 8 laps. We think it'll be 8 laps.
No, it'll be...
Or will it be 7?
No, it'll be more. It's a 60-minute race, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's but it's the Nordschleifer as well. So
it's we were doing. Actually, I can't think what our lap times were. I think they were about 8:20s.
Yeah, so 7 times 8 is 56, and then the 20s will get you another 2 minutes and 20 on top of that. So that leaves you 1 minute and 40 to get your pit lane transits done, and that's 2 of them. And if you can get back to the line in time, you can get a white flag lap. So, yeah, we're not looking at any more than 8 laps.
The brain's not working. I was thinking 8, it'll be minimum 10, but no, that's not how that works.
No, correct. Oh,
yeah,
dear.
Yeah, we're doing 8 lap stints. Obviously, we won't be able to do that tonight as there's limited fuel, but 8 laps, potentially 9 if you're lucky with a full tank. So it'll be interesting to see how many we get with the amount of fuel we've got.
We're very excited about that one. There's no doubt. Three wide to the end of the back straight again. There was a... Oh, okay, I didn't realise this. So I haven't seen what happened to Eduardo Zamora, and Brendan Nealon's got himself a mechanical meatball flag as well. So he'll have to make his way to pit lane. Let's have a look at how he may have incurred that.
No,
Ryan Tate. No, that's Derek Fitzgerald.
Just as I went to click, it scrolled a bit and I clicked the wrong one.
That'll do it every day of the week. Brendan Nealon. Uh-oh.
I just lost the rear and got nailed by
Got
register.
collected. Yep. So, Register registers the mechanical meatball for... Yeah, there you go. For Brendan Nealon.
Well,
And it wouldn't have had it not been for that contact. There you go.
Yeah.
The white flag could fall inside the final 2.5 minutes at Nords. Okay, that's a fair point from Greg Keeney.
I believe that's what happened last time we were there a couple of seasons ago, though that was with Corey Lazarus at the front of the field, and he is very quick.
True. Yep. Based on our numbers, though, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Because if you look at the mathematics of it, white flag flies here on that note. Yeah, 7/8 to 56. And then an extra 220 on top of that to account for the 820 factor. If it's dry, of course. Heaven forbid if it's wet again. You guys will never recover. But then, obviously, the pit lane transit is the unknown entity and all of that. So that could get us close to the 60-minute marker. And if you are out on a 7th lap during that time, well, as you come back to the line, it's going to be pushing that final minute anyways. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you for the intel, Greg Heaney. In the meanwhile, here's Sam Chapman. A bit frustrated at the intermission between the warm-up and Heat 3, but right now, things are looking good for him. Dave Oliver, a solid drive from first until last, having led the field to Green. He'll bring it home in second, but Chapo's about to enter the final quarter and register his 5th win of the season in Disruptive Labs Formula V. Chapo finally in victory lane in Miami. Round honours are probably going Braden Sagass's way. He finishes fourth. Ahead of him was John Merritt. Behind him, his teammate Lockie Purvis. All three of them plus 10 positions gained in that race. Ryan Tate held on for 6. Michael Adams, Derek Fitzgerald, Adam Lavis and Jordan Pianazzola. Hilton Booth, Callum Maxwell, Michael Fisher and Mark Register, with Will Ramsden rounding out the top 15. Brendan Nealon gets out there. He's a lap down, but he'll finish in 16th. Eduardo Zamora, Joel and Hansen, the retirements. Wowee. Wowee. Carnage in parts, but tame in others. A couple of contentious moments. Lockie Purvis, Sam Chapman. That'll be reviewed post-race, I'm sure. And we'll hear more about that in due course. But well done to Chapo, well done to Sagassa, well done to Purvis. 3 different race winners at the line tonight. There'll be no changing the winners there. There may be a subtle adjustment to the finishing position of Lockie Purvis based on that incident with Chapo in Heat 1. Could go the other way. They may deem Chapo at fault. We'll wait and see. But yes, it's been very interesting viewing tonight at the Miami International Autodrome. And we've seen 3 different race winners again in Disruptive Labs Formula V. But still the same 3 names that dominate the leaderboard at the moment. So no change to the lack of variety there in all of that. Lockie Purvis is here alongside me. Must be nice to win race 2 for a change instead of race 3, mate.
Yeah, we finally did it. We broke the curse, so...
And finally as well, a 1-2 for the team in that same race.
Yeah, I think we found our footing there. It was a bit unfortunate what happened race 1, unfortunately, but yeah, we had the pace tonight.
Ooh. Got to make it quick, boys, because it's an 8-minute lap at the Nordschleife, and I think Schmidt's going racing there, so I need to get him out to give him half a chance to maybe register a lap in qualifying. Quickly surmise that for me, mate, because obviously there was a bit of a contentious moment at the end of Heat 1. Your take on the incident with Chapo, who was at fault?
I think it was just a racing incident, to be honest. I thought I had the room. He thought he didn't, so we'll see what the stewards have to say.
Not the easiest track to execute overtaking on, giving off a bit of a Mexico City vibe in that regard.
Yeah, it was nice and tight tonight, so it was hard to pass. Yeah.
What do you prefer, that sort of racing or the franticness of Formula V at somewhere like Summit Point? Because we'll see a couple more rounds like Summit Point as the season goes on, but we're also likely going to see a couple of more rounds where it's a bit more tame like it was tonight.
Yeah, you got your tow tracks and then you got your tight and technical tracks, so this was one of them. You'll definitely see a difference between like who's at the front and who's at the back. It's just about adapting to different types of tracks.
All right, mate, last one, because I'll quickly get to Braden, and then we'll quickly send everybody off out of here. Dave Oliver's already left with a view to getting in the Porsche himself, so we'll hear from him at the end of that. Thoughts on next week? We're off to the Nürburgring, but it is the short Grand Prix course, so it's halfway along that run between what used to be turn 2 and 3, but is now the exit of the arena section up to where it connects with the old Grand Prix layout. There's a little right-hander there that takes you back onto the back half of the course. It's a shorter version of the circuit. Your thoughts on how Formula V might fare there?
I honestly think it'll be some good racing. I know this track, so it should be good.
Matty Schmidtke just reminded me that there's still 7 minutes left to register, because obviously with it being an enduro, you don't have to register before qualifying starts. You can register as qualifying finishes for anybody that's planning on jumping in for the run around the Nordschleife tonight. We are bringing you the elite split. Andrew Neal standing by to bring that to you. Lockie, who would you like to thank, please, mate?
Obviously you boys, the team, Braden for showing up tonight, and my missus for watching.
Very nicely done. Congratulations. Yet another solid showing from you. It's looking good for 1-9 as far as the Formula V series is concerned. You needed that because obviously Chapo had the wool on everyone last week, but 3 different race winners tonight. Same 3 as week 2. same three that seem to be dominating the series at the moment. So all eyes on how you fare when we get to the Nürburgring next week. Thanks for that, mate. Go well. Have a good weekend.
Cheers, mate.
Braden Sagassa, you mustn't have been able to believe your luck. At one moment there, you're looking at P4, P3 even at best, and then all of a sudden your teammate and Chapo start doing the tango at the final quarter, and then you go and sweep up, then clean up the pieces and take your third win of the season. Well done.
Yeah, I really wasn't expecting that. I was obviously rooting on Lockie to try and, nab the win there, but obviously it was unfortunate between him and Sam to get caught up in an incident like that. But yeah, sometimes you have good luck, sometimes you have bad luck.
Difficult circuit for overtaking, let's be perfectly honest, particularly that last corner. Very hard to execute the manoeuvre and not be vulnerable on the exit.
Oh, yeah, 100%. It's a bit of give or take through that corner, because if you dive it up the inside, you're going to have a pretty poor run on the exit. Yeah, so it's about trying to minimise wheel spin, but yeah, if you could get it done, you could kind of, just block the inside for turn one and hold onto your position.
Indeed. Good fight back, I thought. Obviously races 1 and 2 couldn't have gone much better for you, first and second. Really, you had to apply damage control in race 3, and to fight back and be plus 10. Very solid effort in the grand scheme of things, mate. A first, a second and a fourth. We think that's round honours your way based on the results for everyone else around you. But you had to work hard for that plus 10, didn't you?
Oh, 100%. Especially, I didn't know if you guys caught the start of that, but there was a really big checkup, and I think there was some issues with iRacing. It didn't release the green flag until we had passed the start-finish line. So there was a massive checkup, and I'm surprised more cars didn't get involved with more damage.
Yep, same here. We didn't quite pick it up, but we thought something was awry because of how scattered everyone was. But yes, evasive action. Very nicely taken by everybody there. Would you come back racing Formula V at this venue again or not?
I think my opinion on this track is pretty similar to the Mexico layout. I'd give it a go once, and then, yeah, that's about it.
So you'll stick to the Grand Prix configuration around here is what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. If we had the long back straights in these cars,
it would have been epic, wouldn't it?
Would have been about 7 wide coming into the hairpin corner.
Quick lap though, 72 seconds. So 9 laps in heat 1, 13 in heat 2, 13 in heat 3. You've done 35 laps. You'd be getting dizzy.
Oh yeah, they really fly by around this track. You don't really expect it when you see the layout. You would think it's about a minute and a half or a minute 45 lap time, but yeah, these Formula Vs, they can really send it through the corner.
Indeed. All right, your thoughts on the Nürburgring before I let you go?
I actually haven't seen the layout yet, but any Nürburgring layout I adore. It's a great track.
All right, we'll leave that with you. We'll let you go and examine that because, yeah, it's not the full what you know as the Grand Prix layout there. It's it's an abbreviated form of that, but you're still on the Grand Prix course, not the Nordschleife. Could you imagine trying to run Formula V around the Nordschleife? We'd be here all week. Thank you, mate. Go well. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, obviously, like what you said, you guys for putting on an amazing broadcast. Obviously, the 19 team, Lottie for showing up, and yeah, my missus has started watching as well, so shout out to her.
Excellent. Both the partners of Purvis and Sagassa would be very happy with what they've seen tonight because you guys were right, A, in the thick of it, and B, maintaining the consistency that has heralded some really strong results for you and put you in a very good place as far as the championship's concerned so far after 4 of 10 rounds. Boys, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Bat and change. Schmidtke out, Neil in, a break and back. The platforms of the Gentleman Sim Racing Club. Great to have your company wherever you're tuning in. Thursday night Motorsport live, exclusive and free across Facebook, Twitch and YouTube. Sorry, not Twitch. Why did I say that all of a sudden? It hasn't been Twitch for yonks. Facebook and YouTube. It is great to have you with us. Formula V done. 3 different race winners there. What will the Nordschleife offer up with the 60-minute enduro, the annual regular one-off 60-minute enduro of the Porsche Elite Cup campaign? We'll find out very shortly. On our way there, Hawthorn 25 leads, Fremantle 22, and the Bulldogs 12 lead the Dolphins 8 in your Thursday night AFL and NRL respectively. We take this opportunity to grab a break, come back and join us for the Porsches on the other side. We're here with thanks to Waste Options, Disruptive Labs, Trophy AI, merch.tgsrci.com and Flash Graphics. Thanks to Matt Schmidtke for his efforts as always. Good luck in the Porsches. And Andrew Neil with me when we come back after this. Stay with us.